So let's go ahead and talk about one of the big issues in Maya, which is when things go wrong, which is basically resetting Maya. We're going to take a look at a handful of different ways of resetting Maya in terms of tools and UI to help us out. And then we're going to take a look at kind of the master reset, which is that deleting of the preference folder. So these are going to be several ways you guys can kind of go about changing things and adjusting Maya if things start to get haywire. So here's a great example. It's very easy to just accidentally just blow up your user interface and really kind of screw things up in a way that just absolutely sucks. And it can be challenging to fix, especially if you don't really know what's what or where things are located or what you accidentally got rid of. So the first thing to talk about is the ability to reset the UI. So if you've really just done some crazy stuff with your UI or you have a menu that's just disappeared on you, this is going to be a useful tool. This is generally going to exist in the Windows menu in software, and I say in software because this isn't exclusive to Maya. Windows is not referring to the Windows machine, it's referring to these individual boxes you see. These are considered windows. So if we come up here to Windows, you're going to see this option here under Workspaces to change into different workspaces. Now, I usually work in the general workspace. The reason for that is I'm an old school Maya user, and we didn't used to have these pretty little buttons. The nice thing is down here, you'll see there's a reset button. You can click this reset button and everything's going to go back to normal. In theory. If you accidentally saved over it, then it's going to go back to whatever you saved as, but just kind of be aware of that's how we can get our UI back into place, which is nice. Now, there's other factors too, such as modeling here. You'll see modeling standard. This is going to take away things like the timeline and just give you a little bit more screen room. This could be nice if you're on a small screen like a laptop. I'm on a 4K monitor, so it doesn't really do anything for me. There's other ones like Workspace Expert, which gives you even more screen room, which could be a bit of a problem if you're new, because this is kind of implying you fully understand how to use hotkeys and all that stuff. I never use these. I work in general, but I just wanted to show you guys that's going to be how we reset the UI. Now, the next thing is resetting a tool. So sometimes a tool is going to do something unpredictable, and you may not know what it's doing. So just to kind of give an example, if we take a look at a tool like the Insert Edge Loop, by default, it usually has this click and drag motion, but you'll notice mine doesn't have that. Every time I click, what it's doing is it's placing this perfectly in the center. Well, why is that? Tools, when you close Maya, retain their settings, and this is one of them. So when it comes to a tool that's misbehaving, a lot of the times you can come in here to your tool, you can go into the option box next to it here, and you can select the reset tool option, and that will reset the tool itself, and it will set it back to whatever the default is. And you'll see how that works now. It will use the click and drag method. This also works with other things like your move tool. If you double click your move tool here, and let me just show you, I'll close that. Double clicking move, rotate, scale, any of these will pull up this tool setting menu, and you'll notice it also has a reset tool. Now, just to kind of show you guys the delete preference folder, what if you have all sorts of things happening in Maya, or what if something's just not working right at all? So when something's not working right at all, and it may have been working previously correctly, that's when Maya might be getting its nodes a little bit scrambled. In short, things are just acting weird. Now, just to give an example, let's go ahead and come in here with the Insert Edge Loop tool, and let's go ahead and set it to be something kind of specific, like multiple edge loops. We'll set it to 8. This isn't very helpful, but every time I click, this sets to 8. Now, I could reset this tool, but just to show you that what I'm about to do does reset this tool, we'll go ahead and go through the process of deleting our preference folder. So for those of you who may not be familiar with this idea of deleting the preferences folder, deleting the preferences folder basically does a soft factory reset. It resets all of your preferences, which means any UI changes, any changes in tools. It also gets rid of custom shelves, so you have to be careful about that. It's essentially going to just nuke all of that and get rid of it all. So the way we do this is we navigate in our file over to our location where Maya is installed. It's good to first close out Maya. It's not a big deal if you don't, but it can definitely help. And what you can do is you can navigate to where Maya is installed. This is going to be different on all of your computers. Generally, it's going to be under the Documents folder. It's going to be in a Maya folder, and it's going to be the version you're working in. So Mine's 2026. Now, just be mindful that this drive is usually going to be different on your document. Mine is C users user documents Maya 2026, but usually it's going to be your C drive users, whatever your logged in username is, documents Maya, and then the version. Now, right at the top there, you'll see there is that cute little preference folder, and that is what we are going to get rid of. We're just going to go ahead and delete this guy. You can highlight it, and you can select delete, and this will get rid of it. Now, this is probably in a different spot on Macs, just as a heads up for any Mac users. I haven't used Macs in like 20 years. Yeah, close to 20 years. So it's been a minute. Now, when you go to reset Maya, it's going to have this pop up. It's going to say, hey, do you want to set some preferences up? Because we just nuked the folder and it can't start without it, right? So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to use default preferences, the second one here. And what that's going to do is it's just going to create a fresh folder, and it's going to launch with all the UI and all the weirdness fixed. All right. Now, this is going to take a bit for me to reboot because Maya 2026 takes forever to load. But once we get inside here, everything should be nice and cleaned up, and all the issues we were having should be fixed. Now, I used a keyword there, should be fixed. There are sometimes issues in Maya that the preference folder does not fix. I've encountered a handful that I don't actually have a solution for, and I can't remember specifically. But there are also sometimes version bugs. So one of the issues I ran into is I was teaching a class where we were using XGen. XGen is a specialized hair system that was developed for hair specifically for the movie Tangled. And in that version of Maya, it literally was not working. So sometimes things are just not working in Maya versions, and you have to wait for a patch or an update. But generally speaking, the preference should fix things. All right. So once we're in, we should be good. We'll go to new. And just to kind of show you guys, if you remember, I set my insert edge loop to be 8. If I create an object here now and we go to mesh tool, insert edge loop, it should be acting like the default method, not placing 8, but allowing me to click and drag. Okay, so that's going to be kind of a crash course on fixing Maya in terms of user interface, resetting tools, and deleting the preferences.